Hello everyone, MarcusWolfe here, welcoming you all back to another episode of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. Last episode, I accidentally cut off early, but I was able to cut it so it didn't seem like it until the very end, where it's like, oh, I made 2 episodes. Whoops, I'll just tag it into the last one. But more importantly, we have just enough evidence to suggest that Luke Atmey is the murderer, and that he is, big brain moment, like I'm actually quite serious, big brain moment, is trying to use a conviction of being Mask de Masque and being at Lordly Tailor as an alibi. Because I've said it before, but it seems like he's trying to employ the rule of double jeopardy, that if he's found guilty of being Mask de Masque, that means he was at Lordly Tailor, and therefore, legally impossible for him to be at KB Security. So that by default will make him not guilty of being the murderer. And because by default he is not guilty of that, he cannot be tried for that. I think that's what the game is trying to go for. If so, then kudos on them. And again, I learned this from when I did my criminology classes. I took some, like I said, just in college because I was curious about criminology. And that's where I learned, like, double jeopardy. Is this where they're going with double jeopardy? Because if they are, then it's a great setup. Oh, boy. My sis? I could have sworn I heard Mia's voice. So, she's still alive. In your heart, that is. Nicky boy! Oh, Mr. Light. Is it true that detective is the real killer? To be honest, we don't have any definitive proof. But he's the only one who could have done it. But wasn't he at Lordly Tailor that night? Not to mention, we don't exactly know his motive. I mean, why would Detective Atmey want to kill Kane Bullard? Oh, it's almost time. We better get back to the courtroom. We need to find some solid proof, now. And it's gotta happen sooner rather than later. I mean, I just said that, but okay, whatever. The now became sooner rather than later. Whoops. Sometimes my ad-libbing, I accidentally borrowed from the future without knowing it, and it's like, oh, well, crap, I just ruined myself. Oops. Now then, this court is back in session. Mr. Luke Atmey, please, take the stand. Well, how do you do, Sir Lawyer? I never would have thought to see you acting so recklessly. I couldn't let them hand down your verdict just yet. Not when it would have given you your perfect alibi. An alibi by the name of Mask de Masque. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid even the great Luke Atmey has no idea what you mean. Of course, I have been in the next courtroom ever since this 10 o'clock morning. I'm afraid there's no way I could have known what's been going on in here. That's true, you have been in the defendant's seat all day long. You were being tried as Mask de Masque. Indeed. It's truly child's play to fool the ignorant masses. Not only did the poor fools ask me to protect their valuables, they even gave me a generous reward upon returning their own property to them. Take this red diamond ring that sparkles upon my divine finger, for example. So you continue to insist that you are truly Mask de Masque? Of course. Very well then, Luke Atmey. Let us begin with this simple question. On October 12th at 1 AM, Kane Bullard was murdered. Where were you at that time? One without knowledge lacks even the knowledge that he should be ashamed of himself. Oh, don't worry, I will not hold it against you, Sir Judge. Thank you. Alright, Mr. Atmey. The night of the murder. Speak. We're all ears. As you wish, Sir Prosecutor. This is going to be interesting. I was stealing the urn as Mask de Masque, just as I announced I would. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. The photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. The time at which the camera captured Mask de Masque was the same time as the murder. It does seem the main point of discussion will be this photo of the crime scene. Everything else up until now was all part of his plan. There has to be a secret to this picture as well. But if he couldn't alter it, then how... This is Lordly Tailor's camera. He couldn't have altered it. Oh, but then how did he make the picture lie? If that's what we're going with. Even the great Mask de Masque cannot be in two places at once. Now then, if you'll excuse me, I have a verdict to receive. Unfortunately, Mr. Atmey, we still have to do your cross-examination. A fool is too foolish to know that he is a fool. I think he's trying to say that you're full of it, Nick. The only thing that's full of it is his alibi. Oh boy, that picture is going to be a point of contention. How am I going to prove that picture is a fake then? That's the only way we can say that this alibi of his is not true. I was stealing the elements Mask de Masque, just as I announced I would. So, this photograph is the proof, correct? Indeed it is. And the man in the photo is certainly wearing a mask. That is why I am called Mask de Masque. But conveniently speaking, that also means there's no way to tell who really is in this photo. What do you mean? Are you saying that this is, in fact, not Mask de Masque? That it could be an accomplice dressed up as him to create an alibi? What an interesting idea, truly. Are you saying that I, Lone Wolf Luke, had an accomplice? No, only because I have no evidence to say such. I have no evidence to say such, I really don't, and that annoys the hell out of me. If Luke Atmey was at KB Security during the murder, then Mask de Masque in this picture has to be a fake. Then there really was an accomplice! But right now, if there is, I honestly have no idea who it was. I don't have any idea right now either. Baseless objections are just what that guy wants. There's gotta be another way, and I'm gonna find it. I have absolutely no evidence to prove that there was an accomplice, and that is him just goading me into saying it. Now, I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. I believe Adrian Andrews hired you at one point. Where's my mouse? Thank you. Oh my god, this mouse. That's right. That was over 20 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. Oh my god, I need to change mouse for real. This flicker is so horrible. You sent the calling card to Lordly Tailor 10 days before the heist. That would mean you sent out the card after you began your security watch. Am I right? Oh, indeed. There was no reason why I couldn't do both jobs at once. It was the perfect opportunity to steal my latest target. I see. You truly are evil, aren't you? Yes, evil is what I am. Hey, Nick. Isn't there something odd about this? Huh? Detective Atmey was always proud of his ace detective skills, right? But if the urn was stolen from Lordly Tailor while he was the only one watching it, then he'd have no way to maintain his ace detective persona. You know, that's true. It is kind of odd. Wait, what are we talking about here? I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. Well, I can't deny that. I mean, 20 days on the job and then 10 days send a calling card? You did have 20 days to prepare. The photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. And by photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here, correct? Indeed it is, that is it! The very thing proving I committed the crime. The very thing proving you committed the crime. When you think about it, it's really odd. So you're saying it as almost as you had this picture taken on purpose. He was simply caught by the very camera that he had set up. We all have days like that. Indeed. Turned out that there was no such thing as the perfect crime after all. Life is truly an ironic thing. A sad blue melody. Looks like I'd better gather more information for now. If he's truly the killer, there's got to be something phony in that photo. There's no way to prove that he took it on purpose. So we can't go that avenue. The time at which the camera captured Mask de Masque was the same as the murder. About the camera that took this photograph. Oh, come now. It's all too clear what you're thinking. Huh? You think I altered the timestamp of the photograph, don't you? I'm afraid that's impossible. The camera was set up by Lordly Tailor, and on top of that, it was Lordly Tailor's staff who printed that picture's data. Unfortunately for the defense, there's no way that picture could have been altered. I see. Looks like I better find something else that could be suspicious. So, this alibi is false? Well, it has to be, or he couldn't have killed Mr. Bullard at KB Security. But I'm not really spotting anything unusual. There are two possibilities. Either the Mask de Masque in the photo is a fake, or the photo itself is. I don't know. Could it be one of those things like I did with Ron the Light, and then I will figure out something new later on? I mean, this is saying that he had an accomplice, and I don't believe he did, so that's not going to be where I could press more info. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. This is where everyone said that things were a bit odd, so let me do this again. Yes. 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 What? Detective Atmey was always proud of his ace detective skills, but if the urn was stolen from Lordly Tailor when he was the only one watching it, he'd have no way to maintain his perfect persona. That is true. That is true. And how about this? So by photograph, you mean this piece of evidence? Yes, it is. The very thing. Surely even you understand by now. Lordly Tailor provided there's no way I could have tampered with it. That means I could not have killed Kane Bullard. Oh, this is new. Unless I had an accomplice. Wait, is that new? Come on, think long and hard about that night. Okay, that was new. Yep, okay, that's fair. See, okay, it was one of those things. I hate when they do this. It's like, there's no evidence. Just press again. Go round two. That's like so stupid. Come on, think long and hard about that night. The basement warehouse. And this picture that supposedly captures it. It's got to be here. Isn't there something funny about this picture? I don't know! This was supposedly stolen on the night of the crime. The only thing I could think that's funny is that Ami face statue is not here. But because of this photo, I have to say that Ami face statue was probably moved before this photo was taken. But would that constitute as funny? I don't know. But there's no way that he could have stolen it. Okay, no, there's no complicating this. If we're going to say that Luke Atmey is the murderer, there's no way that this picture is from October 12th. There's no way. That would have to mean that this picture was taken at an earlier day. Another day. It could have been taken the day before the crime. And conveniently enough, this camera does not say what day, just the time. So while the picture itself may be real, This picture could have been taken on a different date altogether. I think there's something wrong with the timestamp then, because there's no way that this is Luke Atmey on the night of the murder. No way in hell. So something funny must be the timestamp itself. Are you implying that this picture is a fake? You bet I am. There's definitely something strange about this picture. We took a look around the basement warehouse that night before the theft took place. And there's something in this photo that doesn't match my memory of that night. Very well. Then let's hear what you have to say. What about this photograph do you find funny? I did say there were two things. It was either the Ami face statue or the timestamp. Phoenix is kind of leading me there by saying that we saw the crime scene on the night before it happened. This Ami face statue was here. Now it's not. Where is she? The funny part is right here. What? This is a blood stain. Blood? Now this case is getting quite interesting. Not exactly, Your Honor. The stain is really just pink paint. Oh, just paint? And peach colored or not? From blood to peaches. Wow! This judge sure loves going on his wild tangents. Well, anyway, the problem here is not the paint. The problem is when you consider the layout of the basement warehouse. Turns out that something that should be there is now nowhere to be seen. Well, Mr. Wright, care to explain what is supposed to be in this picture instead of the paint stains? Ami Faye. Like I said, she was right there. She was delivered to the warehouse the night before the crime, and Adrian Andrews placed it there. So why is it gone? Again, clearly it was moved before the photo was taken. But why? The supervisor at the treasure exhibit stated the following. Well, there is a good reason for that. On the day of the crime, around noon, that golden statue just happened to arrive from the mountain training hall. I realized that the statue would be the perfect size for covering up the paint stains. That's why I put it where you first saw it. I myself was there the night the theft took place, and saw the statue in that very spot. So, if this picture was truly taken on that night, then the statue should have been there. Objection! But when I went there the day after the theft, the statue of the old bag was sitting there in the corner. Well, perhaps it was somehow pushed there accidentally. Your Honor, this statue is slightly larger than yourself, and very heavy. It would take more than a simple accidental push to move it that far away. In that case, can you prove it? Can you prove to us the rhyme and reason as to why that statue was moved that night? Can you do it, Nick? Well, never mind who moved it. The real question is why. Well, Mr. Wright, I hope you are prepared with your answer. Who was the one that moved the golden statue on the night of the crime? If we go to the who, we go to the why. The only person who would have gained anything. I think this goes into my idea perfectly when I said earlier that this picture is a fake, as in it was taken sometime before the crime, a day before the crime, 2 days, 3 days, whatever, but at 1 AM at night. This statue only came the day, on the day of the crime. So now all of a sudden it's placed there, it doesn't fit what the picture shows. Luke Atmey would be the only one who has a reason to move the statue to fit with the picture and create his solid alibi. And therefore that will go into proving that this picture is a fake. Ah, I see where this is going. Oh, that's clever. Clever way to prove this picture is a fake. The one who moved the statue is none other than Luke Atmey. Oh, come now, Sir Lawyer. There you go again on one of your strange delusions. Mr. Wright, what basis do you have for your strange delusions? It's very simple, Your Honor. The witness was the only one in the basement warehouse that night. Well, that is indeed very simple. However, why would I go through the trouble of moving such a heavy golden statue? The reason for moving the golden statue. Now here's where our battle truly begins. Well, Mr. Wright, what reason did the witness have to move it? Well, that can be found here in this photograph. Luke Atmey, you pretended to be Mask de Masque to create an alibi by showing you were at Lordly Tailor that night. But this photograph contains a single fatal flaw. If the statue had been there, your lie would have been exposed like cheap film at a drugstore. And that is why you had to move it. A single fatal flaw? Interesting theory. So please enlighten us. Just where in this picture does this lie exist? Like I said, that statue came on the day of the crime. And I'm of the idea that this picture was taken before the day of the crime. Again, the day before, 2, 3, 4 days, but sometime at 1 AM. So while this does say 1 AM, I think the actual date of this photo is a lie. Naturally, the lie in this photo is the timestamp. What do you mean? I'll tell you exactly what I mean, Your Honor. On the night in question, Luke Atmey went to KB Security and murdered Kane Bullard. Therefore, it's obvious. It would have been impossible for him to have been at Lordly Tailor at this time. Exactly. If we're to go with the reason that Luke Atmey is the murderer, then this picture was not taken on the night of the theft. Or the purported theft, I should say, at this point. But what does that have to do with the statue being moved? Remember, if you will, Your Honor, please. When was the statue placed beside the warehouse door? Well, the statue was taken down to the warehouse on the day of the crime, and it was placed there in order to cover up the paint. Exactly, Mr. Godot. Luke Atmey had already decided on the time when he was going to kill the victim. And so, in order to create an alibi, he took this picture days before the murder took place. Hell, it couldn't even been the day before, as long as it was 1 AM. What? Of course, the statue hadn't been brought down to the basement warehouse at that point. Oh! So, on the day of the crime, Mr. Atmey must have been nervous. As nervous as a long-tailed cat in a rocking chair factory, so to speak. Why? Because something that wasn't supposed to be there had suddenly been brought down and placed where it wasn't supposed to be. And that is why Luke Atmey had to go through the trouble of moving the statue on the night of the murder. He did it to make the room match with the way it had been in this photo. Ugh! And therefore we've proven the possibility that this photo is a lie. Not taken on the day of the crime. Order! Mr. Atmey, is this true? One moment, Your Honor. Have you forgotten this? What is that? The data for the basement warehouse computer. According to this, the camera did indeed go off on the night of the crime. Yes, it's true that the camera had been set up by the Lordly Tailor staff. However, that program was yours. That alone would have allowed you to tamper with the data. That is true. You printed that data from your own system. Order! Order! Mr. Godot, what is the meaning of this? Godot, I warned you about making me wait. Now put that coffee down! My 11th cup. I promised to drink no more than 17 during a single trial. Which means, I'm still good to the last drop. However, the defense has made a very valid point. A good point. So what? We are all but travelers on a road of infinite points. I think he's got his points mixed up with his other points. So you say this photograph was taken ahead of time, and that the statue was moved in order to make it match. That's a very interesting theory. However, there's one point that can't be denied. And that is... that is only a possibility. Men that are trapped by the chains of maybe can never reach their dreams.
That's very true.
No, don't fall for that, Your Honor. Hey, Mr. de Masque.
Yes?
If there's no funny business in your actions as Mask de Masque, then there should be no problem with you telling us your strategy. So let's hear it.
Yes, please provide this court with your testimony about your plan to steal the sacred urn.
True, at this point, with the possibility, I think this is a valid avenue of attack. What was your plan to steal this urn?
Well, I first received a request from Lordly Tailor 20 days ago. The urn was placed in a box, and Zavali, it was sent to the warehouse. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand. I then handled security by myself to ensure my crime would go smoothly. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 AM on October 12th. That's pretty much all stuff we've heard before, isn't it? Yeah, but we'll find the truth hidden in the nuggets of new information he just gave. Witness, are you sure there are no mistakes this time?
Zavali.
Very well then. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
Yay! This is going to suck.
I first received a request from Lordly Tailor 20 days ago.
You were asked to guard the urn by Miss Adrian Andrews, correct?
Indeed. It seems that they have heard of my Zavalkling reputation. What?
I totally just said it naturally without even looking at it. Zavalkling. Wow. I see Miss Andrews is still attracting the weirdos. You better watch out too, Maya.
The urn was placed in a box, and Zavali, it was then sent to the warehouse.
You mean this box?
Yes, that pathetic little box. Lady Andrews was especially taken with that urn, and she wouldn't let anyone enter the storeroom, not even me.
Huh. Interesting new tidbit.
Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime.
So you're sure that you had never seen the urn before?
Indeed. You may even ask Lady Andrews to confirm yourself if you wish. My security was focused entirely on the entrance to that warehouse. However, I, Luke Atmey, let no information whatsoever slip through my fingers. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand.
You mean this calling card?
That's right. That is without a doubt my calling card.
I guess Mr. Delight didn't make this after all. Of course, because Atmey knew about the emblem. Making this card authentic would have been child's play for him.
I then handled security by myself to ensure my crime would go smoothly.
Then no one entered the basement warehouse.
Unfortunately, there were many different treasures being taken there. Thus, for a period of approximately 5 days, people were indeed going in and out. And at last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 AM on October 12th.
And this is the photo proving that, huh?
Indeed. To be honest, even if a photo was taken, I didn't think it would matter terribly much.
Nick, if this photo is a fake, then Detective Atmey might have stolen the urn whenever this was taken. If that's true, You know, he's been saying that he never saw the urn until that night. If we can prove that he's lying, we can wrap this up and put a bow on it. We just need to take a hard look at the court record. Not a lot to go on, is there? That detective's been covering his tracks. There's only one thing we need to prove in this cross-examination. That he took this photo well before the actual night of the crime. Alright then. How do we do that? Well, there's only one thing that Atmey stated very clearly. That he had never seen this urn before he stole it. Then we need to prove he's lying. So... oh no. I don't know. I have to take a guess. Well, I don't have to take a guess. Okay, the evidence I have on hand. His testimony is saying that he received a request from Lordly Tailor 20 days ago. That's fair, and that's true. The urn was placed in the box. True. Noted by, Adrian Andrews. Sent to the warehouse. Very true. I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. This we're not sure. We're trying to say that he did. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand. I then handled security by myself to ensure that, yeah, that part is true. Everyone knows that part. I don't care. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 a.m. This can't be true. We've already established that. This can't be true. Then that has to mean... he sent a calling card. I would have to assume then, he must have seen the treasure to send a calling card. I mean, he knew it existed, but what if it was a fake? What if it was, you know, in a box? So he must have opened the box before sending this calling card. That is my guess. The calling card basically says... the calling card basically says that he is going to steal the urn in 10 days' time, October 12th at 1 a.m. Please take care of the urn. Well, more specifically, please take care of the speckled urn. It did say that. Would that really, you know, prove anything though? I don't know. Does that prove he saw the urn? I mean, it's just saying, please take care of the speckled urn, would you? It's like, I don't know. Oh, wait a minute! Oh my god! Adrian Andrews dropped the urn on the day she got it. Which was about 20 days ago, or so? Well before 10 days. And that's when it got pink. Oh my god, he wasn't using speckled as a term of endearment. He was using speckled as a description, because he saw the pink splotches on it. Oh, no, sir. No. Question now is, what do I use? No, sir. No. Your calling card. Your calling card, sir. You said it was a speckled urn. And I'm just gonna say check. See? Take good care of the speckled urn. I thought it was a term of endearment this whole time. No. He's using it as an actual description. You saw the urn, sir. You saw it. Mr. Atmey. If you really... that is clever. That is so clever. I remember making the crack when I first saw it. I was like, wow, they actually used the word speckled. I haven't seen that term used in a while as endearment. Usually it's like spotted, but it does work as a word of endearment. No, he really meant it as a description. Wow. A word with two meanings, and I took it as a figurative meaning. Oh, it was literal. That is good writing right there. That is... as an English major, that is good writing right there. Mr. Atmey, if you really are Mask de Masque, then you also wrote this calling card, right? Oh, but of course! Is there a problem with it, right? Trite. Allow me to read a passage from the calling card that Mr. Mask de Masque had written. Take good care of the speckled urn. Now, the speckled here surely refers to this pink pattern on the sacred urn. Yes, that is true. Oh, but so what?
Truth be told, there's no way that Mask de Masque could have even known about this pattern. What do you mean? This pink spotted pattern on the urn is actually nothing more than paint stains. Paint stains? And these stains did not appear until after the urn had been taken to Lordly Tailor. Ugh! That is true. I'm not finding this joke to be very funny, Mr. Trite. Oh, I assure you, Mr. Godot, it's no joke. The day this sacred urn was taken to the warehouse, the urn was broken due to human error. Or, rather, I should say, an error-prone human. And that's when the pink paint got on the urn. You can't be serious. Oh yes, I am. And yet this calling card clearly mentions the paint pattern. Which means Detective Atmey had seen this urn long before the crime ever took place. In fact, he saw it when this fake photo was taken. And because this photo is a fake, your alibi for the night of the murder no longer holds water, Mr. Atmey. I can't believe it. We actually destroyed his alibi. Wow. That is amazing. From a picture that was supposed to be a solid piece of alibi testimony, a solid piece of evidence for alibi, is now destroyed. That is amazing. And all because of the word speckled. Again, I thought it was a term of endearment. No, it was literally speckled. Wow. And then that's when I'm like, wait a minute, because it just clicked in my mind. Wait, speckled could mean actually spotted. Witness, do you have anything to say for yourself? Alright. That did it. He's broken now. Nick, I think it's still a little early for a victory pose. What? It's so sad. No one has any conviction these days. Conviction? Yesterday, we all decided unanimously that this man was Mask de Masque. And now, we're calling him a murderer. You don't think we're being a tad fickle, don't you? Well, that is a good point. No, don't fall for that too, Your Honor. You say that Luke Atmey was the one who killed Kane Bullard. Then allow me to ask you this, Trite. Why would he do that? Oh, an excellent point. Motive, Mr. Wright. Motive? Might you, my merry murderous motive, manifest? Nick, he's getting his second wind. If he prepared an alibi and pinned his crime on Ron DeLight as you say, he must have had a very strong motive for murder. The only one with any motive we've seen so far is Ron DeLight. Isn't that right, Detective? Indeed. According to my own research, the boy's motive is clear. Without a motive, it's nearly impossible to prove guilt in a murder case. Now then, maybe you can enlighten us as to what the defendant's motives were. I'd be honored to, Sir Old-Timer. They're doing everything they can to make Ron look suspicious. Oh, despite our lack of hard information, this may be our only chance. No, they're right. In the absence of motive, all this almost means nothing. I mean, technically, you can prove someone guilty in the absence of motive, but something like this? We don't have enough to say that he murdered him. We just said that his alibi no longer works. It doesn't help. Oh dear, this is so bad. What motive could he possibly have for killing Kane Bullard? That is the million-dollar question right now. And we're only able to get to this point because we've proven his alibi no longer works very well. But most importantly, we're going to discuss this later on because my voice is dying. I've done this for two and a half hours now. And I think this is a good place to stop. It's 40 minutes and We managed to destroy his alibi out of the water. Now, we're gonna talk about motives. I have no idea what his motive could be, so good luck to us. But until then, later!